So when you talk about self-harm, are you talking about something on like type of having intake, like a food intake?
So,
or is it like something on a higher side?
So no. So there are very different types of it. It could also be some habits that you have. Okay. For example, anything which you are not okay with, you doing it. Okay.
Okay.
For example, standing for long hours. Here, let me give you a teacher's example. Okay. There would be many teachers who would feel कि हाँ तो खड़े तो रहना ही पड़ेगा ना, इतने घंटे का job है. Yeah, many teachers, when I say कि oh you are a teacher, so the self harm would be that you are standing for so long. I really feel there should be a chair where I can teach and sit and teach. So when you feel that what I am doing is wrong.
Right.
For example, suppose now we talking for you, or you working for so long hours and forgetting to have water. And then at the end of the day you feel कि यार मैं पानी नहीं पीता हूँ ना, ये गड़बड़ हो रही है.
Today's podcast is a bit different one than the one that I've usually done. Today's thing is going to teach you and give you knowledge about how your handwriting can tell you what's inside you, what could be or what could have been. Isn't that amazing? Did you know that your sign can actually tell you what is going inside your head? What is your passion? What do you really want to do? And people actually follow this to learn and get into the right path of how they want to live their life. Graphology. I don't know if you guys were or knew about this. Well, this is going to be one of the most and nicest conversations that we're going to have today with our guest, where he's going to teach you how your handwriting helps you in certain way and how you can fix your handwriting to get things in a right way, in the right direction for your life. Make sure to stick all the way to the end, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy this podcast. Welcome, Nitika, to Kabirr Vani. You're Nitika Dudwania, and you're a graphologist. You have done NLP practicing, and you have done social panorama. Let's get into the topic, because I think graphology is now kind of picking up. It's very an open market. But tell me, what is graphology and how does it impact in one's life?
First of all, thank you, Kabir, for having me here. And to start with, graphology is something that I have been very connecting. The more I'm understanding the science, the more I'm getting more deeply connected to it, that how actually it works. So to start with, just think, okay, like all of us in school, we were all given the same books to write, the same letters, the same alphabet, everything the same. Still, no two people in the world, okay, have the same handwriting. Now, suppose if we are 50 people sitting together and we are told to write a similar paragraph, the same paragraph all of us have to copy, and then we mix up those papers. All of us would be able to recognize which is our handwriting.
Right.
How is it happening? Okay, so as it is said that graphology is nothing but understanding, analyzing those patterns. We were taught this is A, तो हम उसे A बोलते हैं, वो उसको एक drawing जो है इसको A बोलते हैं. अगर हम बचपन में we were told that this is B, we would have called it B.
Right.
So study of this pattern, that how you are making this A like this, is called graphology.
Okay.
So handwriting is nothing but brain writing.
Okay.
Our brain is doing the writing, and understanding those patterns and the waves is the study graphology.
Okay.
So that is the basic understanding, what I would say is what graphology is.
But how does that impact in one's life?
So it impacts directly, how your thoughts are.
Okay.
The thoughts can easily be read in the handwriting. Okay, let me ask you, Kabir, here. Do you think your handwriting varies time to time?
It really depends. I mean, I think for me, my handwriting changes every single time.
Yeah, so it is just that, your thoughts are changing every single time. It would not be that, you would be constant on one thing, that this is what I want to do. This 9-to-5 job is what I've been doing from 20 years. So that has been changing your thoughts, and that is why your handwriting changes. You could ask probably a person who would, have a 9-to-5 job from 20-25 years, the same company, just leveling up. He would say, मेरी handwriting तो कभी change ही नहीं होती, same ही रहती है, बैंक में signatures accept हो जाते हैं. Okay, so that is how, if your thoughts really change, you have a very wavering mind, or you have a very growth mindset, you really want to go up and up, so it will directly show in your handwriting.
Okay. So how does it work in a way? So coming to this particular part, see, I've been into my thing that I've been doing it for last 7 years, right? The only difference that has changed in me as of right now would be starting this beautiful podcast that I've done, and inviting beautiful guests like you. But then what happens here is that, so my thought process doesn't change in terms of कि आज मुझे ये करना है, कल मुझे वो करना है. It's not never that way. But for me, it's always अच्छा अभी आज मेरा ये task है, आज मेरा कल वो task है, because I have couple of things that I do at the time when I'm running my show, I'm running my business. So according to that way as well. So for me, I feel it's calmness, anxiousness, or when I'm too excited, and when I'm most calm, my handwriting is the most beautiful. When I'm very anxious, so especially when I'm writing a script for my show, what questions that I'm going to ask you, and how it's gonna go, so that's when I'm a bit more anxious, so that my handwriting is something that you will not be able to read. I literally have to type it. So how does that work?
So see, again, how I told you, when you're saying when you're very calm, you have a very beautiful handwriting.
Yes.
That just shows that, there's very monotony. Okay. And now if you have some things or some challenges or something, it would go up and down, and it would be actually not readable, because at that time, possibly you yourself don't know where are these thoughts coming from, and how are things coming up, and suddenly how do you come up with that question, or how do you think of inviting certain people? It's just striking you.
Right.
The same way that handwriting तुम्हें नहीं समझ में आएगी तो हमें क्या ही आएगी, वैसा है.
Absolutely.
So if you can't understand your own self, then how is it possible that around people would understand you? So what I would say is on this, that let this not have the handwriting not matching.
It's
go
okay.
That way.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful thing. It is not happening with everybody. Everybody is struggling to little change. If I tell you to change, it would be very easy. You would accept new things.
Absolutely.
So if you're saying you've been doing certain things from the past 7 years, okay, and now you've started this. You have started. There is a lot of things into starting. A baby is not born कि आज बच्चा आ गया. There is a lot of things which has happened. Okay,
Absolutely.
from where you came today.
Yes.
You've reached today,
Yeah.
or you've started something today.
Right.
It has taken a lot of planning. It has taken
Absolutely.
a lot of thoughts. So that is what I'm not saying कि you're thinking कि आज podcast करना और कल movie करनी है.
Right.
But it is.
I don't mind.
No, you don't mind. See. Here I'm saying that you're open to doing a lot of things.
I'm open. Somebody comes to me today and you're like, after seeing my podcast, you're like, we'll want you to get a movie. I wouldn't say no, right?
We'll get over that.
Okay, I understand. So that does work, and your thought process is directly linked to your writing, and it works that way. Great. So, very, very new thing that I personally feel that is out there. How do you work in this terms of handwriting part? Like, so how would you judge someone when you're doing their graphology test?
So to start with, Kabirr, there is no judging. Okay? Because I believe in there is no right, wrong, there is no good or bad.
Okay.
Having tea at 4 o'clock is like the bestest thing for me. Possibly it is not for you. Or possibly if it is for you, it is not for me. If मेरे लिए 5 बजे है. Okay? So there is no good, bad or right, wrong. We could see some things as ethical. Other than that, rather, there is nothing good, bad or right, wrong. So it does not come to judging. It is moreover, most of it is self-discovery. Okay? Understanding your own self. Okay, when you do that, or when a person, or suppose if you come to me with a challenge, so understanding where it is the challenge is, the problem area is, understanding that and then providing a solution is what it all goes about. It is not about judging. So see, I'll tell you, if for a kind of a story a person came to me who had some difficulties in his professional life, and after seeing his handwriting, I asked him, how are your relationships? And he was like, oh, they are very bad. And I saw that in his handwriting, that his relationships are not going good. And when we did corrections over the relationships, where he went and he could talk over with the client there, and how he got the big order, and then he was very happy that, oh, I never knew the problem is there. So he's searching for somewhere, and the light is somewhere.
Right.
Okay, so that is how graphology helps. That it makes you understand what is going on in your thoughts, and how are you going.
Wow, and that really can be noticed through someone's handwriting.
Yes.
That if somebody is going through a bad relationship phase or having some difficulties at work, that can all be
Lots more. So see, there are 26 letters in the alphabet, and approximately, if I will say, there are 16 modules of graphology. You know, size, the size of your handwriting, the spacing, the letters, lot of it more, the slant and the baseline. There are 16, and I will say, in fact, you know, I could give you a thing here that the letter T. There are 51 types of letter T.
To write letter T.
The lowercase letter T.
Oh, just a lowercase.
The lowercase letter T. Yeah, let me correct that. So, you know, it is so vast.
Okay.
So it can go to any level that, you know, where you are at the moment. Are you really living in your past, or are you in your present, or are you only thinking about the future? So, you know, how you can create that balance. And I can go on. There is so much more to it. Every letter holds a thing, and, you know, a personality trait, a behavior pattern, and much more can be understood through graphology. And, you know, as I'm saying, it fascinates me every day. You know, there have been times when, you know, I learned something, and, you know, I feel ऐसा ये तो कोई लिखेगा ही नहीं. But I found people who actually do that.
Do it that way.
Yeah, you know, so much so, you know, when I, you know, you know, the best part, you know, what I feel about, you know, when I tell people is, if I, you know, tell them that, you know, there is self-harm. Okay, and they are like, self-harm means? So I have found people who would, you know, would have done something really bad to themselves, but very basic things also, people कुछ awareness ही नहीं है कि ऐसा कुछ हम करते भी हैं जो हमें harm हो रहा है, and then eventually, you know, it comes up to something very major. So, you know, correct it there in the very minute stage, and, you know, get yourself a very beautiful life out of it.
So when you talk about self-harm, are you talking about something on like type of digesting, having intake, like a food intake? So, or is it like something on a higher side?
So no. So there are very different types of it. It could also be some habits that you have. Okay. For example, anything which you are not okay with, you doing it. Okay. Anything which you're not okay with, and you are still doing it. For example, standing for long hours. Let me give you a teacher's example. Okay. There would be many teachers who would feel कि हाँ तो खड़े तो रहना ही पड़ेगा ना, इतने घंटे का job है. Yeah, many teachers, you know, when I say कि oh, you are a teacher, so the self-harm would be, you know, that you are standing for so long. I really feel there should be a chair where I can teach and sit and teach. So when you feel that, you know, what I am doing is wrong. For example, like, you know, suppose now we talking for you, or you working for so long hours and forgetting to have water, and then at the end of the day you feel कि यार मैं पानी नहीं पीता हूँ ना, ये गड़बड़ हो रही है. Okay, so that, and it is not higher sides, definitely yes. Yeah, but still this, you know, and how you change that little pattern, and then this you will get reminders कि भाई तू पहले रुक, बंद कर और पहले पानी पी. Similar, whatever goes on within you. Whatever goes on within you, it is not necessarily, it would be same. So again, you know, if I say no to people's handwriting in the world matches,
right?
So how could, you know, a habit of two people match or something? It could be on a very superficial level, that even you do this, I do this, but what goes inside you and what is inside me is totally wired very different.
Right. Now, you know, coming to a part where you said there are 51 different ways of writing T. Do you have a checklist कि ये वाला मैंने देखा है, ये वाला मैंने नहीं देखा है so far? And you get excited, oh, finally I saw this one.
So to tell you, Kabir, you know, I started my journey where, you know, I was working with a education institute. There were 550 plus kids and approximately 51 professors. And those kids used to shuffle, like, you know, every year. So I don't know how many signatures and handwritings and T's I've seen. So there is no count to it. Okay. And then eventually how I started working with more people, and then business owners, and then how housewives and teenagers and all. So it is, पता नहीं, but I can say the things I used to feel कि ऐसा कोई नहीं लिखता होगा, but I have seen quite many of them. So checklist, so I don't know, not possibly I'll sit one day, so I'll think ये वाला देखा है, ये वाला देखा है.
So that would be like, because, you know, you said कि ऐसा वाला ये तो कोई लिख ही नहीं सकता. I would like to ask you here is how you mentioned a signature, right? So how much of a signature is a part of being a graphologist? Like, how does a person sign? Depends on how much person would be have a fame or have some kind of trouble consistently inviting them. Is that such thing?
So signature directly, you know, directly relates with see, Kabir, how would a person recognize you oh, the person with a beard or a French beard, or the clothes you wear, or possibly the watch you wear, how you're dressed up.
Right.
Or otherwise, a person who knows you would mention you as Kabirr.
Right.
The same way on paper, any paper, okay, or any legal document or anywhere, you are recognized by your signature.
Absolutely.
Okay, if you go to the bank, or if your wife goes, so obviously they will say the signature mismatch means Kabirr was not there.
Right.
Correct? So a signature is generally an identity. Okay, your identity. Now, what does signature actually say? That from a signature, you can actually come to know, see, there are 3 types of personalities everybody has. Everybody, all of us in the world have 3 types of personality. The first is that, how we believe that I am, that, it would be, for example, if I tell you here that, I am very kind. I am so, मैं तो सबसे मतलब मेरे से अच्छा तो कोई दुनिया में है ही नहीं. Okay? And then there would be another way, the second way of the personality would be, that how I'm portraying myself to you. That, see, Kabirr, I am this. I would do this, I would do that. That is what I am portraying. It could not be matching to what I believe I am, but, I'm portraying this. Ki you did not do this, I will not do this for you. Okay, that is how I'm portraying. And then the third would be how I actually am inside. That, I would feel कि दुनिया में तो ऐसे लोग होते हैं ना, but I would do this. There are 3 types of personalities. One, what you believe you are. The second, which you are showing to the outside world. And the third one, which you actually are. Okay, so signature directly tells you all about it. All about it. A signature can actually tell you that this is, Kabirr, how you feel you are. And this is how you rather want to be, or you show it to the people, and this is what is inside you. So where the correction is required, and are they 3 very not matching, and are they 3 very aligned, and are they on the right path? Right path, if I say you the right path here, right to the goals that you have. Okay, are you on that same process or the way ahead? That is how signature directly relates you to the thing, and signature is a very much part of your writing. So many a times, handwriting and signature, the patterns differ. That यहाँ पर ऐसा A लिखते हैं, यहाँ पर ऐसा लिखते हैं, यहाँ पे handwriting की size ये है, signature की size है. That is again, how you are and how you're showing yourself to the world. Your signature is your identity. Your
signature, okay. But sometimes does it happen where you must have met a person would have been like, you would have told कि अच्छा, अच्छा ये होने वाला है, या ये तुम्हारे ज़हन में है. But then what happens is that, like, but no, I would not in my millions of years, I would think I would want to do that, or I would even want to do that. I've never done that. So how does that matter, and how does that come into the signature?
So, what happens, Kabirr, see, to start with, graphology is very, very, very present. It does not do any future prediction, ki, this would happen. For example, parents come to me with teenagers and say कि ये डॉक्टर बन जाएगा, तो मैं उनको बोलती हूँ कि अगर ये पढ़ाई छोड़ देगा ना तो कल कुछ नहीं बनेगा. Okay, so it is all about, do you have it within you? Now there are certain traits which we see. So I'll tell you an example. For an instance, one person came to me and I saw that there is something which I can see in his heart or stomach. Okay, and there was something which there is a trait where I saw, and I asked him ki, do you have something like that? And he's like, no, Nitika, I've never had any gut issues or anything. And then I was like, okay, just be careful because it is showing here. Now, why is it showing here? I do not know. Now, I was not predicting. Okay, it was there, which possibly he was not aware of. Okay, so he came to me after a week and he was like, I actually had cholesterol and I was not aware.
Wow.
Okay, so then it is not that, possibly he will go and tell somebody कि उसने मुझे बोला cholesterol. So it was not future prediction. Now, if I tell you a similar way, if I could see in somebody's signature that there was some kind of cheat involved or something. So it is not on that, that would happen in the future. Okay, it would be subconsciously somewhere it has started happening. See, the pattern will form earlier. Okay, we will see it later on. Okay, in our life. So in graphology, it comes to be very easily that you can understand that ये pattern बन रहा है. Okay, and then you can understand कि you can, if it is not a very good trait or something, you can stop it right there. So that it does not grow. But if it is showing there is something which would be there. So when I do a session, it also happens that I tell that person, let us have a discussion. If I see that there is a challenge area with a parent, okay, I will not say कि तुम्हारी और पेरेंट की नहीं बनती है. Okay, because I can only see that there is a challenge. Now it could be that the child and the parent is not staying together, they are possibly miles apart. Parents gaon mein hai, ya this child is in a foreign country or something like that. So there is showing some challenge. Now it could be ki, I want to meet my mom but I'm not able to. Yeah, I'm staying with my wife and I meet my parents very less often, and I feel bad for them that they're staying alone. So it could be anything. That is why generally the graphology session goes on a discussion and not only on I talking and I giving them a lot of things.
So are you getting a lot of good things about me right now? It
is just that I know you from sometimes, so I could become very biased here. That he's very high on himself.
I am. You know me, right? I am very high on myself.
I know yourself. I know you rather, right? So it goes best with a graphology session goes best with a stranger whom I've never met, and when I would say a certain things with anybody whom I meet, for that if I tell you some known people of my my family would say तो हमारे बारे में कुछ बताती ही नहीं है. तो मैंने उससे बोला कोई मजाक नहीं चल रहा ना यहाँ पे, मैं तुझे क्या बताऊँ, बता, मुझे ऑलरेडी पता है कि ये चीजें हैं. So it goes very well with a stranger because the trust level there is at a super level, and when I'm mentioning some things to them and it actually comes up.
Understood. And plus what happens is that maybe when you know the person, I guess you know the scenarios that's going on, you're talking to them consistently. So I think वो शायद फिर एक वो हो जाता होगा कि am I saying this with the thought that I already know the person?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah. So I will say here when such things, when the counseling part comes in, at that time my NLP works best for me. I'm very grateful at that time that I've learned NLP and I know little language patterns. So I've had stories where I would just rather go and tell the person, "Arey, tujhe gussa hai? You're angry?" And that person like, "Gussa aur mujhe तुझे आता नहीं कुछ भी." And this person is stone the people. And I'm like, shit, I should learn how to
You just proved me right.
I should learn how to say that. And then next time I would say ki, "Arey, do people around irritate you?" "Arey, yeah, don't ask." I'm like, wait, I will give you a pattern, where, around बहुत सारा nonsense भी चल रहा होगा, then you are very calm. And then they'll be like, yeah, please give me, at times I get so much anger, I want to control that. And then, how that shift happened because I knew how to portray it correctly. That way.
So, coming to our part where I would like to know how the graphology and NLP kind of helps you. Because earlier you said that, you were very glad that you have learned NLP. So how did this NLP help you in a pattern with graphology? And of course you learn how to say things correctly rather than being the upfront Nitika, and I know that you can be quite upfront as well. So how did you learn that part? Okay, and coming to a second part question is going to be where how does the graphology, I know how graphology and NLP is combined together, how does social panorama works here?
To start with, Kabir, here I would say, graphology counseling, when I'm sitting with a person, it is actually, I am opening up the life of a person. Okay. I am telling them, about their roots, about their challenges that they face. And, I tell them that, I will not be a very goody person here because, we're not sitting here to, if I'm sitting for an hour session where it is a paid counseling, it is not that, they want, the person in front of me wants to hear, yeah, the person is very nice and, the person is very intelligent also. A little bit here and there, yes, validation or an affirmation. But other than that, assurance ke alawa kya hota hai? The person is really looking for some help. So when I'm sitting with the person, I am telling them that, please think of it as something life-changing that is going to happen, and think of me as a well-wisher. And, when I tell you things, don't take it, very directly to, that I'm criticizing you or something. We are here to help. I'm here to help you. So keeping that disclaimer has also, I've learned it from how an NLP language pattern would be, that I'm taking, I'm earning the right, and then I am going ahead with it. And that is how, initially the help with NLP started. And then during a graphology session, so, I'll tell you a very story here. I was on a counseling session, with a business owner. And again, thinking about it also makes me feel how much people get stuck. And, this business owner told me that during the session, I saw that somewhere his relationships are not going well, but his desires are complete and he's content. So, I happened to ask him with permission that, can I ask you something very private? And he was like, yes, Nitika, please go ahead. And I asked him, are you in something, outside your marriage? And he was like, nobody in the world knows this, and how did you know this? And I was like, I explained it to him there. I actually made him, मतलब I generally don't do graphology, नहीं सिखाने बैठ जाती हूँ मैं, पर मैंने उसको वहाँ दिखाया कि देखो ये ऐसा पैटर्न है और ये ऐसा है, इसके वजह से मुझे ये समझा है. You can tell me if it is not that. So possibly I'll feel that you're really content otherwise, some way you found out or something. So he admitted that he has done it, he's doing something like that, and where he wants to come out of it, but now he's stuck. Okay, and he's like, Nitika, just help me how I can come out of it. And there was a very easy solution which I told him to practice, and he was telling me, he also asked for that, will I keep it very confidential, and I told him I will only use it as a case study, I will never be taking your name, and that person is a little renowned person. So it was very his dark fear inside. And in a week's time, when he was doing the certain changes that I told him, he was actually so grateful to me, so grateful. He was like, Nitika, how could I ever in the world discuss this with somebody and come out of it? And it was so easy for you to get me out of it, and I'm so glad and I'm so thankful that you could bring it up and not think I should not be doing it.
Absolutely.
So when such challenges I see in somebody, and there I feel it for a second, ki should I be saying this or should I hold it? And even with family members, that is why I tell them that I will not even be doing a spouse together. Okay, let me do a session only with the person, so that some things like this, or in one person I met, I will tell you a story on that also, a very teenage boy around 18-19 years, and I saw some other level of self-harm. When how I was talking to you that water, not having water is also self-harm. Now I saw something very deep, and I asked him ki is something wrong with you? Are you like crying or depressed or something? So he's like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, have you thought of harming your own self? I just asked him this question, and when he rolled up his sleeves, I was like, man, you need help here. Okay, and then how certain sessions that we had together with him, and how I helped him come out of it. And after doing all of that, I also feel that I should be saying it rather than देखो सब जन तो अच्छा गुडी गुडी बन के ही घूम रहे हैं. If that person is coming for a counseling and a change for something, I really don't know why has energy connected us there. So there is possibly something more than what we think of it ki sirf growth ya sirf ye. There is certainly some challenge which is not coming out, and that person is requiring help. So if I see something like this, I do it, and that helps me. NLP helps me a lot with that, using the right language there, and not just abruptly telling that person that अरे तेरा तो affair चल रहा है.
Right.
Okay, that person would be really taking it to heart. But how to say it in a correct way? NLP is the best tool in the world for that. Language patterns is neuro-linguistic programming is what NLP is. So, and so if you ask me about how you were asking me social panorama. So NLP and social panorama are two different topics. Okay. NLP is how a person thinks. How a person thinks. It is also what is a person himself gone through. And that is why how is he thinking? Yes, and that is why how he is today. Okay? That is what NLP is all about. That what is a person had experiences in his life, and the outcome of a certain situation. How has he concluded it, or how has he got an answer to that situation? This is how life happens. That is NLP. Social panorama is the person is behaving or having a personality in a certain way because of the surrounding around him.
So he's not really the person.
He is just influenced by he's seen around. If he's seen that this is how things happen, he's just adapted.
This has to be me.
This has to be me. If this is how the things happen around me, this is how I also have to behave the same way.
Like, so if you are in a friend circle and they're going out and drinking and smoking, and you feel that you have to do the same.
Yeah, exactly. Right? So see, I'll tell you a very nice story which will connect you here. It is so beautiful. There was this. I've read it somewhere, and I could understand. This is NLP and this is social panorama. So there was a father who was like a man. He was a drunkard, and he used to like hit his wife every day, and something into very bad practices. And he had twin sons, 10-year-olds. And one day the father actually hit the wife so much the wife passed away. And when that happened, the police came and they took that man away, and the man was sentenced to death and all. So these two twins were left on their own, and they started leading their own lives. इतना कुछ बहुत bond नहीं था, तो they were leading their own lives. And one point of time, it came that one of the sons actually became the replica of his dad. He was doing everything exactly the way his dad used to do.
Right.
And then the other son became an IS officer and at a very big position and everything.
Okay.
So I read it somewhere. I don't know if it is a true story or something,
Absolutely,
but it really relates. So you will get it there. And then, once what happened, again, the police caught the drunkard guy, and, when they looked at him, they were like, "Arey, ye to hamare wo officer se iski shakal milti hai." And when they asked, the officer, confirmed that, yeah, he's my twin brother. And then there was a press conference, and press conference में से पूछा, "How did you become this?" Drunkard को पूछा, तो उसने बोला, "I saw my dad. I thought this is how the world is. This is what I want to have to do. I did that." तो IS officer को पूछा, "आप कैसे ऐसे बने?" बोला, "I also looked at my dad. I saw this is not what I want to do. And I did not do that. I chose not to do that." So now, when we say what is the difference between, so it is not that social panorama is bad, but it is how the environment influences you till the age you are like 5 to 7 years of age. How your parents, everybody around you, your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, if you're in a big family, which was earlier very prevalent, that people around us staying together, how they have all influenced you, and how that is how you are, why you are today. And NLP is much about how you think inside and what learnings you have taken from the outside world or within you. I'm still not getting that word which I want to say, but the outcome.
The outcome,
that is what NLP is all about. So that is how it is two different things.
Right.
Social panorama and mental space psychology also it is called. That how in your mental space
you are.
Yeah, and how many people are there inside that, and how does it work? So it is a very beautiful technique that we do with people who are having relationship challenges.
Absolutely.
It works very wonderful there.
It is amazing, because a lot of times life teaches you things which cannot be learned, but it can only be experienced.
Yes.
And a lot of time what happens there is, like you said, the social panorama, or back in time, I think they used to call it peer pressure, or whatever you want to call it, like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times happens but the story was so beautiful. The reason was that although they were twins, one adapted is because मुझे तो यही करना है और मुझे ये नहीं करना. But then life was poles apart. Beautiful story. So I'm absolutely loving this conversation. I mean, so many things that I'm learning about the graphology and the NLP and social panorama. It's so unique. I want to ask you is, how does your journey as a graphologist, because it's a very new thing in market. Now, I don't know if many people know that graphologists can be a career as well. So how do you deal with these kind of challenges, or does your family acceptance, how was that?
So I learned, long back around in 2016, I just learned graphology as a hobby thing कि चल देखते हैं क्या होगा. And it came to a point where I was so like you're understanding or enjoying the conversation. It came to me when I started enjoying so much. I used to call up people and say, because I know their handwritings, so I would call up people and say, "क्यों अरे यार ये दिख रहा है तेरे इसमें है." I would call mom and say, "मम्मा सिर्फ आप ही ऐसे हो." And then my mom was like, "तो क्या पढ़ रही है ये नया?" And there was a time. So even today, I will say graphology has not been very new a concept. How you're saying it is new?
Okay.
It is like decades. I think there's a person who started teaching graphology in some 1900s or something.
Really?
There are so many books on it, books on it and all. It is just that it is very a very niche topic abhi tak. Matlab it has not been very open yet. Out of if I would give you a number, out of 10 people I meet, 5 people, I have to explain them what is graphology and how how we started with that handwriting and letters and how we were taught the same letters. I have to start all of that with them. But many people do know it कि हाँ मैंने सुना था या मैंने एक book पढ़ी थी और ऐसे सब हुआ. Then it came to me, when I actually started doing how I told you strangers thing, and then how I also understood this because I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'm giving my fullest to it. Is when the person was also taking a lot from me and was understanding, was changing their lives, and it was impacting people. So if I tell you, my life motto is to make an impact on somebody and thus make one on myself.
Wonderful.
So that is what it goes with, and it is very beautiful there. And if I go to my family side of it, how do they accept it, or So it started with, possibly they're feeling ki kya pata. Yeah, I also did I also did a lot of free, they were my
puppets.
Guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs.
They were my, yeah, very much. They were my guinea pigs. So see, for anything, I have like 20 people in hand, okay? Their signatures, everything. So I can just make case studies, and then, when I had to submit the documents during my course. So I had very easy a thing. There was a get-together. I took out like 40 pages and two pages I distributed. कुछ लिख के दो ये. And then I did all of that. And obviously they were very interested because फ्री सेशन चल रहा था ना कि ये क्या सीख रही है, क्या हुआ इसमें, क्या हुआ. एंड when they started forwarding that, my sister did this, or we learned this, or my dad's friend came home. So it also came to a point when I started doing this, and there was so much coming up that yes, this is happening, right, where I will say at the moment, my family is my biggest support.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so it has just been multiplying
from
that.
there.
Yes, very much. So it goes very great. And with teenagers, I started with forming their signatures. So because there was a trust level somewhere with the parents that, this is working and this is something which is relevant, and the understanding part, so that the trust came on. And then it went on very beautifully, the journey of around so many years. And it's just
so you're
growing,
enjoying this, and
completely
lot of open market for you to go and explore.
So I will not say there has been any challenge, when it is a new thing or something. I will say itna sara to unknown hi hai. Even if I today go and see, there is hardly some few people who are actually doing this as a full-time profession. There are so many people, they will say हाँ हमने भी सीखा था. और उसके बाद, so for me, if I go to say, I will see anybody I come in contact with, even if it is investing money, or if it is the bank, or if it is a person whom I'm hiring for myself, or a person I'm working, my co-partner, anybody, I will see their signature and then go ahead and think. So there has also been, I have also done a few of matchmaking in that sense.
No way.
Yeah, it happened with a friend that I had to पहले उसका सिग्नेचर दिखाते हैं, मस्त है ये कर ले, एंड देन दैट पर्सन इज लाइक टुडे आफ्टर लाइक सो मेनी इयर्स ऑफ मैरिज तूने मुझे अटका दिया, तुझे पता है ना. I know that is marriage, okay? That is nothing related.
That's nothing I can do about that. Sweet.
So yes, but it is a lot more. So if I will say uses of graphology, so there comes a very big thing of use of graphology is understanding the rapport. So any two people, be it business partners working together, be it, it is actually written in the books, be it the mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, see their rapport. Is there, bond between them? Is it going to be, do they have the same level of thinking, or are they ready? One of them, are they ready to change a little? Otherwise, there is a clash going to be at home. Or, with two friends, or any two siblings, two spouses, any two people, you should just be like understanding the rapport between them and then going ahead. Yes. With graphology, one more use what how people actually come up to is understanding the career. That which it comes very easy, that also with a module that which career they should go in for, what is their natural trait, are they a speaker like you or me, or are they a very reserved person, and why are they reserved, and what profession they could choose in that way. So graphology helps you understand that.
Yes. So is that something like where this would really work with a lot of kids, I guess, nowadays, where there's so much to do out there, like it's no longer like a certain thing, IT karna hai, engineering karna hai, ke doctor banna hai. It's no more, it's so much, it's a vast topic right now. There's आप कुछ भी बन सकते हो आज की तारीख में. You can become a podcaster if you want to, you can
a graphologist,
you can become a graphologist, you can become a social media marketing manager, you can become a WordPress developer, you can become a Laravel developer, you can become so many things. So this helps in this particular matter. So
what, see again how I told you कि अगर तुम पढ़ाई नहीं करोगे ना तो डॉक्टर नहीं बनोगे. So same similar way, whatever you want to do, the first thing what I do with when I'm doing a session is understanding, is there confidence in the person? How is that going? Okay. For example, if we take off a very simple example, if Shamak Davar was not accepted by the family to do the dance, what he was doing, but he himself knew that he wants to do it and he was doing it the right way, today where he is reached.
Right, absolutely.
So, the basic thing of, knowing what you're doing, and again accepting that अगर ये नहीं हुआ तो मैं और क्या कर सकता हूँ. There is always a plan B. Keeping that in mind, not keeping कि ये नहीं चला तो life is over. ऐसा तो होता नहीं है. Okay, even if we take ourselves, we know कि okay, suppose some new thing we start and if it is not working, okay, we learned a lot out of it,
Right.
and it is not a failure. It is just a feedback that we have now.
Right. So it's like when you're saying this, right? So I'm getting a question in my head is, so sometimes let's say if you're checking some kid's handwriting, right? Like what it should be and which direction he should go. What happens here is that उसका passion कुछ और हो सकता है and उसकी handwriting में कुछ और दिख रहा होगा. So like you just mentioned that if you want to become a dancer and is that your passion, so it's okay for you to go for it.
No. So I think you're mistaken here. जो passion होगा ना अंदर, जो inborn होगा ना, वो signature में दिख रहा होगा. और जो वो बोल रहा है ना, जो बोल रहा है वो नहीं दिखेगा.
Okay, so ये actually दिख सकता है. ऐसा नहीं होता, ऐसा usually नहीं होता है कि अरे मुझे तो ये करना पसंद है, but दिख तो ये रहा है. ऐसा possible.
So I'll give you an example here. Okay, there was a doctor whom we had met, and that we were just having a session with him, and it went on to a very serious topic, where we asked him that did you want to be a painter or something? So he's like, it's 40 years, I'm a very renowned doctor. तो हमने पर दिख रहा है कि कुछ बहुत creative skills हैं. तो did you want to like go into drawing or something? So he's like, वो दरवाजा बंद करो. And I'm like, okay. And then he's like, I chose science because उसमें diagrams थे. And given my age, back at that time, if I would have told my parents or something, ना बहुत मार पड़ती थी. तो मैंने सोचा ये ले लेते हैं, इसमें बहुत सारी drawing होगी ना, तो let me become a doctor. And then how I did that, and today I'm like good, and now that I've retired, I'm planning to retire and all, I'm thinking of कि हाँ, I'll go back to that as a
being
hobby.
An artist.
As a hobby. So things do come up. Okay. The actual passion, desire also comes up. I've also had a toughest of mails, I just probing one question which I can see in that signature, and they having tears. And the spouse thinking possibly कि ये रुला क्यों रही है मेरे
रुला क्यों रही है कि ये रो कैसे रहा है.
Right? Exactly. That is a right way. That ये रोया कैसे? इसलिए इतना weak था. Right. So that comes up at times that person so they're like जो अंदर था तुम हाथ टच कर गई. Okay, so
you're pushing that one button that nobody knew was there.
Yeah, nobody knew was there.
And
so
that can
reaching
be done
there.
from there.
So reaching to that deepest thing. So with my sessions, I also I will say here this that how I say my work is extremely confidential. Extremely, that is my work ethic.
Cool. I understand that you keep everything very private. It has to be because like you had mentioned earlier that you had actually found the person having a extramarital affair, which is like very, very hidden, very dark indeed. And a lot of people don't realize that it is there. But of course, when they come to you and you're figuring it out, helping them out, coming out of the situation, that's very nice. And I'm glad. How do you manage that though? The thing is, see, we are humans at the end of the day. You might have best friends, right?
So, how I say gently, the first thing, my work ethic is, that my things are extremely confidential. Even if, like if I'm visiting my very immediate sister, my mom doesn't know about it, that I'm there for a counseling session. It is so private. Okay. And the most beautiful thing about, when I say NLP comes into the picture, when, I'm doing a graphology session is, it is completely content free. Okay. I am not asking you what happened to you. Okay, I am not interested, rather I would say, or even if you're going on with your story that this happened, I am only reading between the lines. Okay, and I am understanding where that the problem area is and reaching there and curing that. So if I tell you there was a person who came to me who was having a lot of fear of everything. Okay, he was telling me that Nitika, I'm scared of everything. If I'm sitting somewhere, I feel कि अरे shit यहाँ पे कुछ है, ये गिर गया तो, ये हुआ तो, वो हुआ तो, fan गिर गया तो. Okay, really? It was so bad. Level, okay. Yeah, it was so bad. And when I went on to, so when he was telling me all of that, I was not I was not thinking कि he's thinking of fan गिर गया तो या whatever. I was just seeing कि how much is that fear, to which extent he's going. That when he came to me, he had come to a point where I will say it had reached something around 90-95%, where he was eating food and he felt he would choke on it. Okay, so I did not ask him how it started or anything. We rather went on to just correcting that fear and getting him a better way of thinking or something. And then he came to me and said ki, oh, it is 80% I am better. Okay, I can hardly feel it nowadays, and I am good. So I was like, fantastic. He's like, baki ka? तो मैं बोला बाकी का रहने दे, रोड क्रॉस करते वक्त ऐसे खड़े मत हो जाना, you should have that.
I'm a Superman.
Yeah, so you will be hurt, or you should be careful, you should have that little fear, be there. So how I said, it is not anything is good, bad, it is just has to be very proportionate.
Right.
Okay, that little fear is required.
Right.
So because NLP does not help me let me know a lot of content of a person, it goes a little easy with me. Okay, or there are times, when I really meet a very challenging person, like, I had a child who was I had met a child who was very young, and she had some certain issues. So I deal with children with special needs.
Okay.
And how those children, actually there have been times when I go out of the house and when I leave that house, and there have been tears in my eyes. And so how I'm just conversing with you in a way of a story. So if there would be really suppose a best friend, she has had a problem, and I would just come and say, Kabirr, I'm just in a mood to vent out. So I would take the permission from you, and then I would just tell you the story that this is what has happened.
Like leaving the names out.
Yeah, not because anyways, even if I say that one Shraddha,
it won't matter because that's not the real name anyway. So.
And that you don't know if it is or if it is not. It is just I am out of it.
I got
so
you.
Yes. So any counselor or anybody, we also have our ways of venting out. In fact, nowadays I also suggest it to my clients. So why not for myself also? There are so many other ways of rather not speaking and ways of venting out. There are so many more energies which we work with. That the certain music channels or certain ways of using colors and all, and how it is a very beautiful way of venting out. And I do that for some time by the end of the day, if I've had a very tough day with clients, and then that makes me sleep very well. And
wow, that's a great tip. Yeah. I think you guys can use that. You can figure out how to vent out. How you can do it, you can just simply call someone and be like, I want to vent out, so they know that you're just venting it out, right? Is that correct?
So exactly. So when I was learning recently at one of my training programs, I heard what the trainer was telling me, that when you're in such a mood, you can actually tell that person that, listen, I'm only in a mood of venting out, please koi advice mat dena. Okay, just hear me out. So that person in front of you knows. Or rather, now when you are in a position when somebody is telling you something, blah blah blah, this happened, my mother-in-law did this, ask them, do you want a solution, or you want me to only hear it? Are you feeling good now? Do you want a tip? Okay, so that is how your conversation should go, and then how it will help you understand कि अरे भाई उसको कोई free advice नहीं चाहिए, या अगर कुछ चाहिए तो फिर दे दो. Okay, or a person really is, so how we would just vent it out, and then you're good.
That's great.
And then if I'm making an impact on somebody's life, then I'm having a very nice sleep at the end of the day. Absolutely. Yeah, it's making me feel very confident.
Great. I love that. Yeah, thank you so much. I think I might do that as well. Although my vent out partner is my wife anyways.
That is called the receiving end.
No, that's no. I'll tell you what, my relationship is such now that of course I think we are more friends than we are couple. The reason is like there has been many times that everything is good and all of a sudden I'm like very cranky and I'm starting like yelling and she'll be like, kuch to hua hai. She's just like nodding her head. And I know she's not listening to me, but she's just nodding her head.
Yeah.
So I think that is, and that did not come. Actually, I think it took a lot of work.
No. So the way you sing, my daughter would, my 17-year-old would say, "Kuch khaya aapne? Pani lao, mama, pani lao, pani piyoge." So she knows that she's now on her some level, so where we should be shutting her.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what she does too as well. So if something like that does happen, she's like, "What do you want to eat?"
What do you want to eat? Okay. She'll ask me, "Have you eaten something? What did you eat from morning?"
Okay.
And then I will have a reality check. Ki shit, kuch khaya nahi.
Yeah. So that is what happens. Either that or she'll be like, "You want chai?"
You want chai?
Yeah, I think I want chai. Give me chai. So that is great. It really helps out. I think for her, I think maybe craft and arts is something that she likes. So when she's really frustrated, she'll just start building something. She'll start doing something.
It's just her way of. So everybody would have their own way of venting out also. You would see that there are certain children who would just go in front of the mirror and self-talk. And
wow, that's another way of doing it.
Yeah, very much. Just so you don't have somebody, you can talk to yourself.
Right.
Or in NLP we were taught a technique, where talk to your cupped hands.
Cupped hand. Okay, so you just do that and just talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself and then go. And then if you don't want to be there, don't want that talk to be there with you, just stand up and go and wash your hands and come back.
Wow, that's
and
beautiful.
it's flushed
Give
away.
me some more. I know you have some more. Give me two more.
The two more, so I will tell you one of them, okay, which is
Okay.
very beautiful. If you have a day of where you want to vent out, what you can do is you can just write it down on a paper as a letter. Just write down everything what you felt about. You can also write abuses there, whatever, this person is this, and and whatever you can just write out whatever you want to, and then just take that paper, tear it into like zillion pieces, and go and flush it. It is like wiped out, and you will see that tomorrow, if you're thinking about that incident also, it is not
It's not affecting you
at all.
Oh,
It is a very beautiful way of deleting things from your piled up pen
okay.
drive. Just vent it out.
Wow.
Just delete that,
Wow.
and then you will have new ideas.
Absolutely,
What
हाँ.
to fill in there? वो gap है ना?
Yeah. क्योंकि कंप्यूटर जब भी full हो जाता है तो तुम्हें eventually clean up करना ही पड़ता है.
Yes.
That's
Similar
absolutely
way with cupped hands. Just
Okay,
talk it out there. Everything that you want to. इसने मुझे ये बोला, ये हुआ, ये हुआ, ये हुआ. My boss this, that, everything. My children, they're not listening. My teenagers, this, cup, and go up, wash your hands and
तो
come back.
जितनी भी गंदी गालियाँ देनी है उसमें तो और छोड़ दो.
You feel light, yeah. It's
Okay.
come out from you, no?
Great.
And then it's gone. It's gone.
It's
Vanished.
gone. It's vanished. Great.
Yes.
All right. That's so amazing. I think I'm going to do that.
You should try that. Please do that, and you will see. Oh, it was making me lighter. So Kabir, there comes very challenging situations in lifetimes. Sometimes, I was helping this one girl out, and a school-going child, and how she was facing some issues where she was not included in a WhatsApp group, or there came to a point where a school-going child, but yeah, a special friend, and then how that friend doesn't want to be friends with her, and she happened to ask me, "Ma'am, have you ever thought of suicide?" And I'm like, "Bacha, why do you think of this, and what made you?" And I was a little scared because she stays in a high-rise, and somewhere if parents are not around or something, and something would happen. So there came a point where I just gave her a pattern that why don't we try this? Come on, let's do it like a play. Okay, so it was just a fun activity that I did with her, and how she actually switched on, and she said, "Ma'am, life is so beautiful." So that switch, when that happened, I started feeling that I'm here on this earth for some
she's
purpose,
also
and
safe.
yes, she's
Yes.
very safe. Yes,
Yes.
and and moreover, nowadays kids, I see her liking my posts, so I know she's good.
Absolutely.
So
Great.
and many times I feel that that how this has happened, that possibly there was a reason why I learned that science long back.
To even
ago.
make an impact in one person's life is like saving the world.
Saving that one person is, yes, everything is taken care of.
Taken care of.
Yes. Then there is like nobody else required. I have the higher energy there.
Energy.
Yes. Yeah, so it also goes to sometimes that, when I'm doing sessions with people, and, because it is a very non-judgmental topic that we go there, and anything I'm open to hear and help that person out if there is a challenge. So it comes to that, that person becomes very attached. Okay, and it goes to a level where I understand okay, now I will have to cut here, okay, because that person would want me major time of the day. And see, I also do have certain my commitments, and my personal life, and my children, and my parents, and everything. So it comes to a place where that person would also come and upfront ask me, why didn't you answer my call? I wanted you. I'm like, yeah, then I explain it to them that, don't get so, rather show them the picture that, what are you doing? And, I also tell them in a very simple way that, eventually I will leave that cycle handle. No, I will let you cycle alone. You have to lead the world and show them the right path. It goes a lot with children that, the children would want ki, meri teacher hai. Meri ma'am hai. This person is mine.
Becoming possessive with
becoming possessive. So one of the days where if I would want to keep a get together kind of thing, they are all wanting me for themselves. So they become that a little possessiveness, or that because they feel that this is how a person should be, and see, not everybody is that. Okay, even parents are going through their challenges. So
does it become difficult for you to keep it professional? or are you have you mastered that already, that okay, this is your profession and you have to keep it professional at all times? Like, you know, like you took the name of Dear Zindagi movie where, you know, she's so used to and so attached to him, like she got attached and में वो बोल रही कि और सोने से बोले अब जरूरत नहीं है तुम्हें, अब done, you know.
So I do let go of people that yes, you have to lead on. And then so you know, Kabir, I can tell you here, I learned that from my mentor when, you know, he actually came on to there was a point in time in my life where, you know, I was understanding and learning all of it, and, you know, I was wanting help. And then when last week something happened, and then that person was like, oh, you called me after 6 months today. And it struck me ki, yeah, see, I've been so good. Yeah, and see, it's going good. So how making a person understand that yes, you don't have to, like, you know, handhold that person all throughout. Once you feel, so there are also certain checks that I do, that, you know, after a while I will say ki, stop it for a while and now see how does it go, how did you feel, notice. And then the best person, you know, we are our biggest critics.
Absolutely.
हाँ कि this is the wrong thing that I'm doing. ये सबसे पहले आता है, अच्छी चीजें तो हम सोचते नहीं, हाँ ये सब चीजें ज्यादा सोचते हैं. तो once you get your own validation, your own assurance, after that things go good.
Things go normal. Yeah. But you know, very beautifully you kept it there. You know, you have to let go of it. What happens here is that it's very difficult to find, I don't know if I want to call you a therapist, but you know, if you go out there, a lot of therapists out there are, see, there is good and bad in everything, you know, like you cannot make it perfect, but it becomes so difficult sometimes for people to find that good therapist, because see, every time they're coming to a session, they're paying you for it. And then I'm so glad that you are one of those therapists, or a person, a professional who is thinking, okay, how I can make sure that the person is now done and moves on, and not consistently coming back to you. Whereas there are people, and I know there are, who will be like, you know what, I think this is something you have to consistently go through. Yeah, keep coming back to me, you know, keep paying me for it.
You know, honestly, that is why possibly, you know, my dad, my Marwadi dad could say that, you know, I'm priced very low. So those commercials are not so important to me. Like, you know, how I said that mission, okay, mankind to mindkind, that, you know, how to make that, let us make a better world. You know, if I can make a little difference, or, you know, if, just say I say, you know, if all that I learned and all that, you know, the energies were there for me, and what all I went through, and, you know, now today how strong I am and how better at every phase, I truly am very grateful. And, you know, little if I could give back to the society, where, you know, I would say I will not do a very free session for anybody, because I would want to be valued.
Of course.
And, you know, till the time, you know, that person is not valuing it, that change is not even shown. So, you know, that cycle is not completing. So I would not do it very this, but I would move on, because, you know, because after that was like, na, ki this is done, let me help out a new person. And then everybody has that 24 hours. And
wow. But mankind to mindkind, that is your Kabirr Vani. I absolutely love it. You know what I want you to help out here is going to be where, how can one find, see, I'm sure that you're accessible. You know, after this, you'll be more accessible. The thing that I want to find out is that people who are not able to find that right therapist, a connection that they're wanting, how can they find it? What can they do? Like, is there some trick that they can use that, ye person is actually here to help me out and not just asking me for the consistency consultant money?
Just listen to your intuition. You know, it will tell you. Now, what has happened with most of the people, that, you know, itna sab kuch, हमारा इंट्यूशन हमें बोलता है, हमारा सबकॉन्शियस माइंड हमें सब कुछ बोलता है, हम उसे चुप 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 करा के चुप करवा देते हैं. एंड देन वी फील कि अरे उसका सब इंट्यूशन वर्क करता है, मेरा नहीं करता, तुम्हारा कर रहा था, तुमने उसकी सुनी नहीं. इसीलिए तो मेंटल हेल्थ ऐसी होती है, नो दैट, यू नो, यू विल कम टू नो एवरीथिंग. इवन इफ यू आर टॉकिंग टू अ पर्सन, कबीर, you will get that sign that, you know, how you feel, कि talking to her makes me feel very nice.
Very nice, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, or, you know, we'll not come to know how many hours it's been that we are talking.
We're speaking.
Because somewhere it is the soul connection. So when you're talking to any therapist or anybody, I would say a doctor also, if, like, you know, if you get that feeling inside, no, कि this doctor is calling me again and again, कुछ काम तो है नहीं. Understand and trust your intuition. You are your biggest supporter.
Right.
Okay, you will get that inner voice which, you know, you should be listening to and understanding. So for many people, I will say that, you know, that voice has died because we did not listen to it. So just get it alive again.
Wonderful. Listen to your intuitions to get through there.
Yes, get through there.
Great. Absolutely. Or, you always have Nitika Didwania, where you can reach out to her, and she's very accessible. She's a lovely person, not because she's a friend of mine, but she also truly does miracles when she's working. And I've seen your ways of doing things, and I know that how you are. So I think
Thank you.
maybe you can reach out to her.
Thank you. You're very good with words. Is what I can say. Thank you, Kabirr.
You're welcome. So, Nitika, I think today's podcast has been so informative. If somebody wants to start a graphology career themselves, then they can think about that. Coming to a thought of this, I'll twist the things a little bit that we had thought about how we'll take this. If somebody does want to start a graphology as a career, what can they do?
So, firstly, what I would say is the basic of starting a counseling. So graphology is also how I said entering somebody's life, and so if you think that you could be that non-judgmental person and you really want to make an impact or help, you should go in for a graphology as a career, because again it is not so lucrative as other mainstream professions would go, but it is very satisfying somewhere inside. I've had like super success stories where I feel I am so proud of. I can just go on and on with my stories, and people are really in awe of hearing them and understanding that all that she's done. So if you really want to learn, I have also taught graphology to a few people, okay? And it is a very small 40-hour session where you could learn the basics of it, and you can start, you can have certain samples, and then you can start. I can guide you how you can do that. But again, what the first thing I would say is, if you're ready to,
only if you're ready to get into that,
to get into that,
you should not fall into a wrong way of doing it.
That is not what I would suggest. Or even if, so it could also happen if you think of that, then rather don't come to me, because I would be talking about this all the time, that how actually make a change in somebody's life, and then see how things will automatically change for you, and you get there. So I'll tell you a story on this, Kabirr. What happened, there was this person who suddenly saw a lot of success, 75 times the business growing is something he was not expecting.
I think everybody dreams for that.
Right. And actually, so it happens certain times when we say ki soch samajh ke mangna, mil jayega to kya. He got so much of it that now he was in a fix that how to handle all of it, and what to do of it, and there were certain different challenges which you don't think of when at that point of time comes. And he was in another level of depression there, and to come make because he was
over getting what he wanted.
So it is just that for example, if I tell you a TV actor, a struggling TV actor suddenly gets fame, a lot of fame, and now he wants to have that pani puri bhaiya ke paas khade hoke, which he now cannot have. So there is a package there, there is a price that you have to pay for anything that you get.
Absolutely.
So again, this guy, he suddenly earned so much, his company just grew, and then he's stuck that I can't understand now what to do, and Nitika, I don't feel right, and I am not happy, and everything he was just going on. And then how I helped him come to a balance there, and now again a big goal we have set of how he can now double that.
And then he's okay to get that doubling out of it.
And then again, to make him understand that it will be a package. So there's a very famous, I will not say very famous, very common story which any of my clients would agree with, and I tell that story of a TV. So you go to buy a TV from a shop. You've thought of, oh wow, a 52-inch TV will fit my in my house here in my drawing room very well, and you go there, you buy, you like it, and then you have to pay a price for it. It will not come to you. So anything in life is a similar way. You want it, you desire, you have to pay a price. It could be a nice price that you pay for that, yes, because you want it, so you're getting something in return. Now when you're getting that TV, you're buying it, it is not coming to you as a TV. It comes to you with unwanted cardboard, plastic, thermocol. It will come to you like that, protected. That is unwanted for us, but that TV requires it. Yes. You get it home, you wall mount it, or you give it a stand, and only then you can discard the unwanted things, and possibly will keep it for some time to see if it is working fine. 6 months warranty again. That remote ka plastic, you will probably keep it for some more time. So everything is a package. Please understand, we only look for, even if there are certain people, they will say, I like this quality in my partner, but I don't like this quality. possibly because of that quality this is prevailing. So think of it as a package. Okay, anything. So even if it comes to a business, even if now how we were talking, if it comes to fame or growing your business, there will be certain things which will come with it. Are you ready for that also? सिर्फ good अच्छी अच्छी चीजें तो नहीं आने वाली, या तुम्हें जो चाहिए अभी ये होने के बाद ये होगा. Then think, are you ready for it? So how to make a person understand all of this also, and again in a very subtle way, that that person feels that yes, we are here helping that person out. So that is how it all goes. A little things here.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Right. So that's wow. That's something first time that I've heard, that a person getting an anxiety by too much thing. But then that does make, in that way, where if a person gets a fame and he loves a pani puri, that either he's gonna have to figure out how to have that pani puri while people are looking at him.
Yeah, something there will be. So
there are always prizes. I love the story of TV that you have said. Like, I've bought a TV and I've never thought it in that particular way. Okay, this is how it is, and it comes with that. It's beautifully put there, and I really appreciate you doing that. And I think a lot of people will appreciate that. They did it so wonderfully.
Kabirr, I believe in my sessions, if I use jargons, like, if I will say that from today you will have to detach yourself with your this emotion, it is not going to work, man. Please make the person understand that yes, this is how it is. Okay, and moreover, I learned this when I started working with children.
Right.
And as we rightly say, practice what you preach. So when I started with myself and my children, and I could do that with them, and I saw wonders, is when I understood that yes, I can take over the world.
You can take over the world. Working with children is also one of the beautiful things that you could do, but isn't that the most hardest thing you can do as well? Because sometimes sometimes they don't just listen at all, and sometimes they over listen. So how would you handle that particular scenario? Because especially you take care of young adults, kids. How do you handle that? Like, what is your challenges there?
So the first thing what I've realized is, with them also, with the children also, just be very clear. Once they understand, so there is a body language that we all, say or something without we actually saying. If they get comfortable with that, and it's okay to err. So, when children are making mistakes and they say, oh, sorry, ma'am. So, the first thing I tell them is, it's okay to make mistakes. Even I do. Ma'am, even you make mistakes? I'm like, yeah, everybody makes, and it is okay. You're allowed to do so. So gaining their trust, or as in NLP there is a subconscious level rapport building which we do, where I'm just building a rapport with that child, when I can reach their mind inside and then screw them up. Is how it works.
Right.
So I have the best, and again hearing them out. So one of my friends once was during COVID times.
Okay.
Was hearing one of my calls, with children when I was doing, and she heard the entire that 1 hour class that was going on, and she heard that how that child was talking about his entire day, and what this happened, and then she like, you charge for this? And I'm like, yeah, yes. That's my work. There's nobody hearing him out there, and after this, if I tell him ki bacha do this today, and then there is no stopping, because he wants to do it, and then again tomorrow tell me the entire day what has happened. So how so then that became my biggest I will say strength, that I was a ear to them.
Okay, so be a listening ears to them.
Yes.
I would want to ask, and if you're okay for that, there are so many kids nowadays, because of course आज की तारीख में ऐसा हो गया कि उन लोग खाना फोन के बिना नहीं खाते, and somehow I think that is not a right thing to do as well, but then you cannot pull them out, and they become very stubborn. कि नहीं, मैं खाना तो खाऊंगा ही नहीं. Is there a way, I think this will really help a lot of our audiences who are watching or listening to this, that how can they do this particular thing where they would let them do one thing while they're not doing other thing. ये example है, जैसे for example एक टीवी देखते देखते खाना खाना, वो टीवी बोले मेरा बच्चा तो टीवी देखते बिना खाना खाता ही नहीं है. So, is there a way to kind of distract them and get the things done?
Yeah, so you know what, Kabirr, we are always talking of a faulty fruit. Always. Why are we not looking at the root? Okay. Anybody who asks me this or tells me this, I ask them, और तुम कैसे खाना खाते हो? Are you reading the newspaper? Are you talking to somebody? Are you on the phone? Are you also on the mobile? Okay, so
Yeah.
I will put it up this way. Once I was writing a very beautiful poem for my children, and when I did that, and my 6-year-old said, "Ki I will also write back a poem to you."
Okay.
Kids are only imitating either us, either other children, either siblings, either somebody in the family, or either we've just given them a way कि ये ले देख और चुप बैठ. How I'm saying, hear them out. They will have stories and stories and stories. A child who is not expressing is because when he expressed, he was not heard.
Okay.
So this is a very simple way of understanding how it goes. क्यों देख रहे हैं हम कि this apple is faulty, this apple is coming out of the tree in faulty? It's not faulty. There is something inside here,
right,
in the root. Treat that.
Okay. So the way they can figure this out is if the kid, let's say for example, again, the reason I took this example is because I've seen it so many times. Few of my friends go through it. One of my cousins is going through it. Like, ये तो TV चालू, like TV चालू है, खाना ही नहीं खा रहे. But then I never thought of it this way कि हम क्या कह रहे हैं उनके सामने, हम भी तो वही कहते हैं.
Yeah, so I was giving one of my one of the children whom I was called for. That child had broken the glass door of his school, and he was suspended from his school for some time. Right. And I was called for ki and generally what happens with my work is Kabir, I am only referred by word of mouth a lot. That see, any parent would just refer me and say ki, oh, she's very nice, just call her. Okay, see, nobody is going to say ki, Arey, my child has this and she overcame that. It's just it's exactly very personal a thing. So I was referred to that parent, and that parent was very teary-eyed, and she told me that this all has happened, and I'm like, it's okay, let me talk to the child. And when I spoke to the child was like, very nice, super, everything good. And I came to know okay, there was something backstory of also what happened. Only we are seeing the end results. Yeah. This happened. And then after talking, having a few sessions with him, and then the parents came to a point where the parents had so much guilt. The father has guilt of another level, that he's not been able to give time. The mother has some other guilt that she's not been a good mother and all. And the both of them, I was actually the first session, I was explaining it to them that you are transferring this to him, and this is taking the result of this anger and this way of he not telling you all that actually what happened there. So absolutely. Where is communication? Everybody is like sounding so busy.
Right, absolutely.
Where is it happening?
Absolutely. Or maybe we are reacting in such a way to them as well. Yeah. A lot of times, like, so I saw this reel, right, where there was a mom, a young daughter, and I think the guy was also quite young, in his teenagers maybe. So कुछ लेने गया, उसके हाथ से glass टूट गया. The first scene of that reel was that the mom is yelling, and then what happened? Then they showed within that 10 seconds that he became a person who was doing the same thing to his younger sister. वो जब भी वो कुछ गिराए तो वो मार रहा है, उसको गुस्सा कर रहा है, सुन नहीं रहा है, एकदम he's being very he has a lot of anger in him. Whereas the second scene was that वो गिर गया उसके हाथ से, and माँ हंसने लगी. Okay, be careful, we'll take it out, it's okay, and we'll take it in. She adored him, and then she was like, okay, let's clean this up together. They cleaned it up together. In that next 20 seconds, they're showing that the same thing that he's doing with his sister, that, oh, how wonderful, it's like that. Yes.
You're only imitating.
It's beautifully put.
Yeah. So what, Kabir, I also very much truly believe in, asking help for. Okay. So what is it कि mental health is such a topic कि वो इतना ignored है. एक how you say it कि एक बुखार होगा ना, anybody the weather now बुखार होगा, you're going to a doctor. एक बेकार विचार होगा तो are you going to a counselor?
Right.
Are you asking the counselor कि I've been crying from morning and I don't know the reason, or I've been super cranky, or I've been yelling at my children, and most of the times you don't know why it is happening. Ask help. Seek help.
But why are we thinking? This also is a different topic in itself, no? The reason what happens, people are like, अरे psychiatrist पागल है क्या? हाँ? अरे नहीं पागल नहीं है.
नहीं, और तुम अरे एक चीज बताओ, how you're saying it, how you just said it. आपको बुखार होगा तो आप सर्जन के पास जा रहे हो. Why psychiatrist? Go to a counselor. डॉक्टर के पास जा रहे हैं ना, एमडी भी नहीं ढूंढ रहे ना, एमबीबीएस डॉक्टर चल रहा है ना, फैमिली फिजिशियन. Similar way, seek help from a counselor first. Ask them, have a conversation. How I'm saying that child whom I became a year to, वो मुझे सब कुछ बोलता है, उसके बाद वो सुनता है ना, मैं बोलती but why did you fight with your friend? You shouldn't have, no. yeah, ma'am, I did not understand now. What should I do? Should I have that, how you were telling me to hear that music? It will calm me down.
Yeah.
See, it's not building up.
Uh,
Break it there.
right. And that can be done. And what music was he talking about? I'm gonna pull
We'll
that out now.
we'll
You have
cover
some
that.
there.
Oh, it should come in the caption.
That has to come in a caption. Give it that. I know there is some secret weapon. I just got
So
that.
see, any frequency that we
Okay.
talk of, when as Hindus, like we came from an era, in my house where every day we were told to hear Hanuman Chalisa, and at a
Okay.
very young age, we knew all the lyrics.
Huh.
And today, we feel very proud. Okay, we knew the lyrics.
Huh.
Okay, what we don't, or we don't understand is the music behind it. The frequency mattered. And how the tune in which it is said. जैसे बोलते हैं ये इसका धुन ही नहीं है, तुम wrong धुन में गा रहे हो.
हाँ.
Okay, the dhun, that frequency matters. So there are certain frequencies, which you should be hearing or keeping it on in the house.
Okay.
For personal, I would say there are different for different people what
Okay,
you're going through, and that really makes a lot of aura change in the house.
Wow. So
environment.
music is a healer, like
Yeah,
they say.
very much. Yes, very, very much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wow. I think, if I start talking on this, we could probably go on for another
Yeah.
podcast. I'll have to make a part 2 for it. But you know what, Nitika, as we come for the finale, and I'd like to thank you that you have taken a time out and you're here with me. And I feel like I got counseled while we were talking to each other. And I really like to thank you for taking your time out, being here today on Kabirr Vani. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed
Yes.
this conversation. And I'm hoping that all my viewers would have enjoyed this wonderful conversation that I had with Nitika Didwania, a graphologist. She's really accessible, very accessible, and you can find her in Nitika Didwania Graphologist. She's on Instagram, and you know where I am. I'm always here every day, every week on YouTube at Kabirr Vani. You can just look me up and I'll be there for you. I hope you guys are enjoying my podcast and video, and especially this one, because I had personally enjoyed this as well, as so much information about graphology. If you have any questions, you know that you can always leave it in comments, and I would do my level best so I can speak to Nitika and get those answered for you. But you have to do something for me, is that you have to make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, you're following me on Instagram, you're liking and sharing all my videos with your friends and family, and I will do my level best to make sure that I consistently keep on getting amazing, fun, and fabulous content for you. Till next time.